Almaty hosted the 11th meeting of the Intergovernmental Commission of Uzbekistan and Kazakhstan. Even though reporters were invited in advance, the meeting was held behind closed doors. Representatives of the press were promised to be notified about the outcome of the talks later by phone.
The meeting was postponed several times, but in the end the press was allowed to hear only the opening speeches of the Vice Prime Ministers of Kazakhstan Umirzak Shukeyev and Uzbekistan Rustam Azimov. After that, all reporters were asked to leave. I want to say that we do not have any problems. We have mutual understanding about all issues, and soon the heads will receive instructions on the preparations of these questions for the Intergovernmental Commission.
Kazakh experts are still debating about the doctrine of national unity. Political opponents of Mukhtar Shakhanov accuse him of executing authorities' orders. Analysts from the Institute of Political Decisions criticize the alternative concept of national patriots. Who benefits from the national issue becoming the topic of the day? Find out next.
Doctrine or concept? Two new documents which define the inter-ethnic politics of Kazakhstan are in the center of the heated debate. Analysts of the Institute of Political Studies criticize the idea of national patriots, as the formation of Kazakh nation requires some major constitutional reforms. The key question is the way we see our goal, whether we will change the country by rebuilding it from scratch or we'll come up with an alternative formation. The country must be speaking Kazakh, says national patriot Hasen Kozhahmet, a participant of the strike in December of 1986. He was imprisoned for his views and later wrote a book about the nationalist issue. He considers both the doctrine and concept to be a political game, while adding that the main Kazakh ideologist Mukhtar Shakhanov is too staunch. I got a call from the president's administration with a request to support Shakhanov. This is absurd. I created the first opposition in Kazakhstan. I cannot even imagine that our actions back then would have been supported, that someone would call from the National Security Committee or even make a TV program about hunger strikers. Fyodor Miroglov also participated in the events of December 1986 and also wrote a book. The difference is he supported the other side. Miroglov believes the nationalist issue is lobbied by three interest groups. The first group is the most harmless one. It consists of those who just want to remind the public of their existence. The second one is those who fulfill the order of someone close to the president with the goal to destabilize the society. And then the third group. For these people, this document is a desperate gesture. 20 years have passed since the time they expected Kazakh language to take the leading position in the society and state. All experts agree on one thing: national patriots will not see any drastic concessions. At the end of last year, the president clearly stated that he will not tolerate any ethnic conflicts in the country.
Meanwhile, German businessmen are concerned about the protracted restructuring of the Kazakh BTA Bank. Head of Germany's economic office in Central Asia, Jörg Hetsch, believes that BTA's debt problem is being solved too slowly and in a direction not likely to be Germany at all.
The problem is not only in the large amount of German capital frozen in BTA Bank. The economist emphasized the trade financing, saying that the worst-case scenario will lead to the reform of the entire system of trade financing and investment insurance services. Meanwhile, Germans are no longer sure that they will get their money back.
Two residents of Pavlodar were diagnosed with viral hepatitis after being treated in local medical institutions. During the unscheduled inspection of dental clinics, 22 dentists were found to be infected with hepatitis. They, however, will continue their practice.
A recent inspection carried out by the sanitary authorities of Pavlodar region revealed 22 dentists infected with hepatitis B and C. Inspectors, however, are not planning to do anything drastic about the situation.
Что будет с этими сотрудниками? Ну, во-первых, они будут продолжать работать.
These dentists will continue working because there is no legal basis for their dismissal, but they will have to undergo more medical examinations.
По клинической, так сказать, линии они будут обследоваться.
In the last 2 years, 38 cases of hepatitis B virus have been registered in the region, 2 of which happened after visiting dentists. Representatives of sanitary agencies said that some dental clinics do not follow even the basic standards of hygiene. The Protection of Consumer Rights Union reports that 10% of all submitted complaints are against dentists. Clinics are saving on nurses and aides who are responsible for the hygiene.
There are many violations of epidemiology regulations. I'm a doctor myself and I see these things. Most of them have no disinfection solutions, sterile gloves or even masks.
65 out of 100 dental clinics were caught violating epidemiology regulations, while 78 dentists were fined. The agency said that the hygiene conditions will improve eventually. According to the new amendments to the legislation, dental offices will now be inspected every 3 months.
It seems that government agencies involved in property registration also need some occasional inspections. A new land conflict is developing in the east of the country as the regional court decided to demolish numerous cottages on Bukhtarma Reservoir and then return the land to the state. Apparently, officials sold the coastal areas to their new owners illegally.
A new scandal is developing in the East Kazakhstan region as hundreds of elite cottages at Bukhtarma Reservoir was set for demolition. The land of the coastline belongs to the state fund, say officials of the local forestry, but it was sold illegally sometime in the past. Local executive powers will have to reclaim these lands from illegal ownership. This is a real paradox, and this will be done by Zырянов City Council, the exact same council that allocated these lands to people. The landowners are confused. The news about the land conflict came unexpectedly but immediately united people. Each of them paid tens or even hundreds of thousands of dollars for this land and construction in this area of East Kazakhstan. Bukhtarma Reservoir is a popular recreation area. Thousands of visitors come from Kazakhstan and abroad to this place every summer. The cost of this land grows every year, say businessmen.
Perhaps they plan to take everything back and then resell the land. In this case, it will be much more expensive, obviously, as the local land prices have gone up tenfold officially.
Forestry representatives advised landowners to rent their own land for 49 years to avoid the demolition of cottages. People promised to appeal to courts, general prosecutor and the president of the country. Meanwhile, investigation concerning the activities of the former administrator of Zыряnovsk district is already underway.
These were all the latest updates from Kazakhstan. Thank you for being with us and goodbye.